Hello and welcome back to Seconds Out. My name is Eamon Khan here with the one and only Kaisee Benjamin as we look forward to 2023 and his return to the ring. Kaisee, how are you doing?
Good, thanks. How are you, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad at all. I saw that online you went on a stag a few weeks or so back now. How was the stag?
It was good, you know. First time I've ever went to a Butlins weekender, and definitely be going back.
Was that what it was?
Yeah, yeah. So my fiance went on an Ibiza weekender, like probably about a month before.
Hmm.
So, and she said that it was really good. So, I went to the 90s Reloaded,
Played all the hits, did they?
all the hits.
No worries, right. Okay, so let's jump into the boxing. Let's talk about the hits that you had in 2023 in the ring. Reflect on your 2022 for me. How do you think it went for you?
I wasn't that active. I had two fights. Used to having about four. So I fought Serge Bosas, I think his name is. Yeah, in a six rounder. He come in heavy because it was like a last minute opponent. Um, Ended up damaging the tendons in my right index knuckle during that fight on his hard head. And yeah, then I fought Dalton Smith, and obviously didn't get the decision I wanted, but it was a good fight.
Yeah, when you look back at that fight with Dalton Smith, and when people look back on it, the result didn't go your way for sure, but you put yourself out there as a fighter who definitely can mix it at the level that we've seen you there and definitely deserves another opportunity under the bright lights given the problems that you caused. Do you feel the same way, having not got the result, but coming out that fight that you can take those positives from it?
Yeah, 100%. So look at all the hype Dalton's got around him, and it was a close fight. So whatever level he's at, I'm around that level too. So yeah, I just wish I had a bit more preparation coming up to the fight. Maybe like two 10 rounders coming up for that fight. Obviously, he's a good fighter, so you can't really just have a 6 rounder. Like I'm not sure how many months, so like 4 months before the fight or whatever it was. And that's the only fight I had in the whole year when he had like two 10 rounders or whatever. So within that year, so yeah, I think I needed better preparation for that fight, and who knows, could have been a different result.
Do you look at that and just kick yourself a little bit over it?
No, not really, just because it wasn't in my hands to get to get them fights leading up to it. I was talking to my manager John Pegg, and I was telling him to speak to Sky and Mick and try and get me out more often because I'm used to fighting, like actively being active. So and I think that's like maybe like the first time I wasn't active in my whole career, and yeah, it kind of showed in my performance.
Okay, so where do you feel you were able to have the edge over Dalton in that fight? Where do you feel maybe he had the edge over you in that fight? And then having fought him now, do you think he's set for the superstardom that people talk about?
Um, so I reckon maybe he was just a bit more fluent with his punches, and probably just his timing was there a bit better than mine. So I feel like that was just down to him being more active than me. So yeah, and I feel like yeah, he's definitely a good fighter. Um, like he was better than what I thought he was gonna be, but not better than what my coaches thought he was gonna be. If that makes sense. So yeah, I thought if I landed a few big punches on him, I probably would have got him out of there. But yeah, he definitely passed the chin test because I did land a few good punches on him and I hurt him a couple of times. And yeah, he stayed in there and like give back just as much as he got. So yeah, hats off to him.
John, when I spoke to him in the build up, and he spoke to a number of outlets in the build up about you, he said that you were the best kept secret, in this area, when it comes to your talent. Do you feel that the secret's out there now, and you don't kind of have that bit of mystery about you? You've managed to take as much of the opportunity as you could there in that fight.
to a certain degree. I feel like I definitely could have performed better. Like me and my coaches and even John knows like what sort of level I can perform to, and that was just a glimpse of what it was. So I feel like I can definitely mix it in at a higher level and pass British level anyway. So um, yeah, I just want more opportunities to keep mixing it in with the top guys.
So let's look forward then to this year. What are the plans with Mick that's been set out for you? When can we expect to see you back in the ring?
So John told me that he's been talking with Mick, and I think he said March the 11th or 25th. So hopefully it'll be round then, and I think they're saying that it's going to be a Birmingham show, hopefully at Resorts World Arena. So fingers crossed for that, so I can get loads of fans there.
When you had that fight, did you speak to Ben Shalom afterwards? He must have been impressed with your outing as well.
Yeah, he said it was a close fight, and he was obviously he was. He thought that I performed good, so that's always a positive. And he said he'll definitely get me back out. So yeah, I'm just sitting here. Like obviously, I went back to training last week, and so I've been in camp for like 2 weeks, leading like hopefully for March, and yeah, I'm just ready to go again now.
Number of good fighters, especially in the domestic scene at your weight. I wonder if there's anyone that you target specifically. Your name gets linked up with Adam Azim, Sam Mason, for Dalton Smith. Maybe that's someone maybe you'd look at too. But is there anyone specifically that you look at that you'd want to mix it in with, Kaisee?
And like literally anyone that knows me knows I'll fight anyone. You know, I just want all the big fights, titles, all of it, all the money, everything, man. If it makes sense, yeah, I'm in for it.
All about the Benjamins, Kaisee
All
Benjamin.
about the Benjamins.
That's
That's the one.
Kaisee, let's just divert your attention slightly before we bring it back to you. Just get your thoughts on a couple of things in the division. First of all, right at the top, Taylor versus Catterall. That will be on Boxer on Sky Sports. I wonder what your thoughts are on that fight.
Yeah, obviously the first time round, Catterall didn't get the decision which I thought he should have got, but that's boxing. uh, Sometimes it can be an ugly sport, but I think it will definitely be a more competitive fight this time around. Um, I don't know who I'm going to lean towards because you can't exactly. Taylor is still the favourite going into it just because of what he's achieved, but um, look what Catterall done last time. Usually, sometimes boxers just like styles make fights, and some boxers just have other boxers' numbers. So, that may be the case this time around again.
In the gym, Corey Gibbs, he took on Jimmy first towards the end of the year. It didn't come out his way. How's Corey been?
He's not at my gym no more. So for that fight, he left. He went to I think Max McCracken's gym.
Okay.
In Acots Green. So yeah, for that fight, he wasn't with us. And I'm got like sad to see someone that I used to be stable mates with lose. Especially to someone that's not on his level. Even though like a lot of people thought that even though his gum shield kept coming out, obviously he should have got disqualified because of the amount of times it come out regardless. But if it did, like as it did go to points, he should have still won on points. Mm-hmm. But I think the ref just got frustrated with him and tried like basically wanted to teach him a lesson. But Corey will come again if he stays on it. So yeah, he just needs. I think he just needs to get back to his boxing because he was a GB kid, Corey was. So he needs to get back to his boxing. Don't obviously work on power in the gym, but don't try and load up as he was in that fight, and just let it flow rather than trying to look for them big shots. Because when you look for them big shots, they don't come because they just see them coming as Jimmy first did.
The other two fighters I wanted to mention as well, Shaq and Pitters and Sam Egerton, looking to bounce back too after defeats as well.
Yeah, Sam always bounces back. So the position that Sam's in, he can always have big fights, and you can never write Sam off, as proven. And Shaq's always in shape. He's an athletic man, and as long as his head's on, he can cause anyone problems in his division.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so bringing this back to you, I saw you at the Dalton Smith fight, and I've seen you live and in person at the Hennessy shows at the Skydome as well. What I noticed most about you is you're super calm and collected in the ring. I wonder where that calmness kind of comes from, because different fighters act differently in the ring, but you just seem to be ice cold in terms of your composure in the ring. Where's that come from?
Probably like I don't know, just I don't fear anyone that I get in the ring with. I just treat it as a street fight. It's just one of you's are gonna win, and obviously I don't plan on losing. Just probably down to my upbringing. That's just how I got brought up. Growing up in Chelmsley Wood, as you know, not too much these days. I don't really know about youth. It's all knife crime now, but it used to be fist fights back in my heyday. But yeah, I don't know, probably just due to my background, I suppose.
There's definitely some interesting stories there. Save them for another day, Kaisee. But you mentioned there Jack Catterall and him having a style that will, have the number of fighters, and I think you can attribute that to you as well. Like, do you feel that you'll cause a lot of problems to people in the division that you're in?
Yeah, 100%. As I said, I just want them big fights, and I never shine away from a fight. I fight anyone. I feel like I can mix it in at the highest level. I've sparred Jack before, so yeah, I know that I can mix it in at any level. So yeah, I'm ready.
I'll leave the final word with you. What does a good 2023 look like for you?
Good 23 would be to fight, hopefully in March, Resorts World Arena, win a title, defend it, hopefully in May, end of May, and then I get married in June. So get married, go on my honeymoon, come back, straight back to it. More titles.
As long as you're not going to Butlins on the honeymoon, then
Hey, nah, I ain't going Butlins. Hey, it's a good shout though. It's a good day,
It's definitely not a good shout. Kaisee, pleasure speaking to you. Thanks so much for speaking to Seconds Out. Wishing you a really good 2023 and looking forward to seeing you back in the ring.
Nice one, you too, mate. Thank you.